In a world where negativity seems to spread faster than wildfire, where social media amplifies every harsh word, and where hatred can reach us from complete strangers across the globe, we find ourselves desperately seeking wisdom on how to handle the toxic emotions directed our way. Today, I want to share with you the profound teachings of Epictetus, a philosopher who knew more about hardship and hatred than most of us ever will, yet discovered the secret to maintaining inner peace despite it all. Epictetus was born a slave in ancient Rome around 50 AD. He experienced firsthand what it meant to be despised, mistreated, and considered less than human. Yet from this position of ultimate vulnerability, he developed one of history's most powerful philosophies for dealing with hate and negativity. His teachings, part of what we now call Stoicism, offer us a roadmap for not just surviving hatred, but transcending it entirely. The first and most fundamental principle Epictetus teaches us is the dichotomy of control. He famously said, "Some things are within our power, while others are not." This might sound simple, but it's revolutionary when applied to dealing with hate. When someone directs hatred toward you, what exactly is within your control? You cannot control their thoughts, their words, their actions, or their emotions. You cannot force them to see you differently or to treat you better. You cannot change their past experiences that shaped their hatred, nor can you control whether they'll continue to hate you tomorrow. But here's what you can control, and this is where your true power lies. You can control your response to their hatred. You can control whether you internalize their negativity or let it pass through you like wind through an open window. You can control whether you allow their hatred to diminish your self-worth, or whether you maintain your dignity regardless of their behavior. Most importantly, you can control whether their hate transforms you into a person you don't want to be. Epictetus understood that when we focus our energy on things beyond our control, we become slaves to circumstances and other people's emotions. When someone hates you, and you spend hours, days, or years trying to change their mind, you've essentially handed over the keys to your happiness to someone who wishes you harm. This is not wisdom, this is self-destruction. The second crucial teaching from Epictetus about dealing with hate involves understanding the nature of harm itself. He taught that no one can truly harm you without your consent. Now, this doesn't mean that people can't hurt your body or damage your property. What Epictetus meant is that the only real harm that matters, the harm to your character and inner peace, can only be inflicted by yourself. When someone expresses hatred towards you, they're revealing something about their own character, not yours. Their hatred is a reflection of their own inner turmoil, their fears, their insecurities, or their misconceptions. It's not an accurate assessment of your worth as a human being. Epictetus would remind us that a person's hatred often says more about what they're lacking within themselves than it does about any fault in you. Think about it this way. If someone who has never met you, who doesn't know your story, your struggles, or your heart, decides to hate you based on superficial characteristics or limited information, why would you give their opinion any weight at all? Their hatred is based on ignorance, and ignorance is not a reliable source of truth about your value. Epictetus also taught us about the power of perspective, and this is perhaps his most practical gift for dealing with hate. He encouraged us to view challenging situations as opportunities for growth rather than as punishments. When someone directs hatred toward you, instead of seeing yourself as a victim, you can choose to see this as a chance to practice patience, compassion, and inner strength. Every instance of encountering hate becomes a test of your character. Will you respond with more hate, perpetuating the cycle of negativity? Will you allow their darkness to create darkness within you? Or will you demonstrate that your peace and self-worth are not dependent on others' approval or kindness? This shift in perspective transforms you from a passive victim into an active participant in your own character development. One of the most liberating aspects of Epictetus' teaching is his insight about expectations. Much of our suffering comes not from what happens to us, but from the gap between what we expect and what actually occurs. If you expect everyone to like you, appreciate you, and treat you with kindness, you're setting yourself up for constant disappointment and pain. The world doesn't owe you love or acceptance, and neither do the individuals in it. But when you adjust your expectations to align with reality, when you understand that some people will dislike you regardless of what you do, you free yourself from the exhausting pursuit of universal approval. You can focus your energy on being the best version of yourself, rather than trying to please everyone around you. Epictetus had a beautiful way of explaining this through the metaphor of an actor in a play. He said that we've all been assigned roles in the grand drama of life, and our job is to play our assigned role with excellence, regardless of whether it's a leading role or a supporting one, a heroic character or a humble one. Similarly, when dealing with hate, your role is not to be loved by everyone, but to maintain your integrity and character, regardless of how others treat you. The philosopher also emphasized the importance of focusing on what truly matters. In the face of hatred, it's easy to become consumed with defending yourself, proving your worth, or seeking revenge. But Epictetus would ask you, what is the highest use of your limited time and energy? Is it engaging in battles with people who have already decided to misunderstand you? Or is it pursuing your own growth, contributing to your community, and building meaningful relationships with those who appreciate you? When you truly grasp this teaching, you realize that ignoring hate isn't about being passive or weak. It's about being selective with your energy and recognizing that not every battle deserves your participation. Some fights are simply beneath the dignity of a person committed to living virtuously. Another profound insight from Epictetus relates to the temporary nature of emotions, including hatred. He taught that all external circumstances, including other people's negative emotions toward you, are temporary and ever-changing. The person who hates you today may forget about you tomorrow, or may even come to respect you years from now. But more importantly, their feelings about you right now have no bearing on your fundamental worth or your potential for happiness. This understanding helps you maintain a longer-term perspective. Instead of being thrown into emotional chaos by temporary hatred, you can remain stable and centered, knowing that this too shall pass. Your peace doesn't fluctuate with every change in others' opinions of you. Epictetus also understood the contagious nature of emotions. He knew that when we engage with hatred, we risk becoming hateful ourselves. When we respond to cruelty with cruelty, we diminish our own character. The most powerful response to hate is often to demonstrate the very qualities that hatred seeks to destroy: compassion, dignity, and inner peace. This doesn't mean you should be a doormat or never stand up for yourself when necessary, but it means choosing your battles wisely and ensuring that your response elevates rather than diminishes your character. Sometimes the most powerful response to hate is simply continuing to live your life with integrity and joy, proving through your example that their negativity has no power over your happiness. As we conclude, remember that Epictetus's teachings aren't just theoretical philosophy. They're practical wisdom born from real suffering and tested in the crucible of human experience. This man, who started life as a slave, became one of history's most respected teachers of inner freedom. His message to us is clear: no one can make you a slave to their hatred unless you choose to be one. The next time you encounter hate, remember Epictetus's wisdom. Focus on what you can control. Understand that others' hatred reveals their character, not yours. Use the experience as an opportunity for growth. Maintain realistic expectations, and keep your energy focused on what truly matters. In doing so, you'll discover what Epictetus knew all along, that true freedom comes not from being loved by everyone, but from being unshakable in your own worth and unbreakable in your commitment to living virtuously, regardless of how others choose to treat you.